All right, we'll continue our availability. We are now joined by A.J. Allmendinger, driver of the number 47 Kingsford Charcoal Chevrolet. Congratulations on your win last week at Watkins Glen. I know it's been a busy week for you, so talk a little bit about that and how the week has been shaped up for you, as well as coming into Michigan this week.
It's been really good. Luckily, I have the best PR person in the world with Jennifer Chappell. Thank you, Jen. No, it's been really good just to be able to, amongst everything, through all the interviews and everything and all the just kind of all the exposure that we have, it's been important to me to see the faces of Tad and Jody Geschichter and Brad Doherty, just because to me they're the ones that deserve all the credit, and they've worked so hard, especially with Tad and Jody starting 20 years ago and with their race team just in a barn to get to this point and to be able to share that all together is Sprint Cup victory and to have it be our first, and all the guys at the shop, they worked so hard. Just with our little race team to keep building great race cars and putting the effort in throughout this course of the year, through the ups and downs that we've had. So that to me is what's been great to be able to share that with everybody on our race team, because we truly are just a family that works hard together. So everything that's come with that, it's just been fantastic.
Real quick before we open it up, talk a little bit also. With that win, you more or less solidified your chances for the chase. Obviously haven't clinched yet, but solidified your chances. Talk a little bit about what that means to you as well. I
mean, it's just big in general for all of our sponsors that support this great race team, and to be able to have Tad and Jody and Brad really be able to say that they have a race team that's in the chase. Everything that comes along with that is just so big for our race team, and can only help us to keep getting better. And we know when it comes to the chase, as a championship contender, obviously our names aren't going to be the first ones that are brought up, and we know that places, especially places like here in the mile-and-a-half racetracks, of where we struggled a little bit. So we know we got a lot of work to do as well. So these next few weeks hopefully gives us a chance just to keep working hard, maybe trying some things, and just see if we can get our race team a little bit better around these places. So when we get to the chase, hopefully we can make just a little bit of noise in it as well.
Okay, we can open up for questions for AJ. We'll start in the back with Wolfgang.
Wolfgang Monzer from German Rennsport Press Agency. AJ, congratulations for the win. Nevertheless, despite the success in Watkins Glen, you're still a one-car team. You don't think it's still a disadvantage compared to the two-car teams?
When it comes to a disadvantage to just be adding an extra car, not really, because with the RCR alliance that we have, technically I have 5 or 6 teammates. We get all the data and all the engineering, all the notes from them. So I don't look at it as a disadvantage just having a one-car team. But with that said, where we are as a team, we got 35 people that work on our race team, and that's counting the front office, people that answer the phones, everything, the marketing side of it. So it's just getting those resources in and continually trying to build our race team. All the data that we get from Richard Childress and the ECR Motors have been so great, and the alliance that we have with them and the help from Chevy, it's only helped us. I mean, we're far ahead of where we'd be without them, but at the same point, we're always trying to keep up with all the resources that they have and to trying to make us better. So I don't look at it needing an extra car. I just, and this is part of it, making the chase is going to help us hopefully get a few more resources going into the chase. So, that's kind of where we're at right now, where our struggles are, just continually trying to build and keep up with the big race teams when it comes to resources and just manpower.
Additional questions for AJ? Okay, we'll take one from Kyle, then come up to Nate.
AJ, Kyle McCurry, Fox 46 out of Charlotte. Your win on Sunday kind of shows that someone can go from the Road to Recovery program and win. Talk a little bit about your journey from there to this victory and what it's been like.
I mean, it's, I did it. I knew the mistake I made, and, I learned from it, and NASCAR laid out a plan to get back, and, I wasn't going to fight it. More importantly, what it did for me was it gave me time away from racing, which I've never had, to, just figure out if I even wanted to race anymore, and then realize that at that point racing wasn't making me happy anyway, so what was it? What did I have to do to just be happier out of the race car? Because in the end, at some point, we're not going to have a race car. You know, whether it's next week, a year, 10 years, hopefully it's 10, 15 years, but at some point there will be no more race cars. So for the first time I had to look at that, and that's really where I was. So the whole time wasn't about trying to get back into NASCAR. I was going to do whatever it took at that point, but everything else was just trying to get myself better, and I wouldn't change anything about it. I'm way better off now than I've ever been, and honestly, without that, probably wouldn't have had to make those changes, or at least dealt with it. So it's a lot better.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Nate, then go to Chris, and then Claire.
Nate Ryan, USA Today Sports. AJ, there was a lot of talk after the win. I think Tad and Brad both mentioned that there might be new stuff coming from Childress in terms of like next generation, like chassis and stuff like that. I was wondering, do you guys have like one of those brand new cars here this weekend? And does your performance this weekend, I guess, give you any momentum looking toward the chase, knowing there are 5 mile-and-a-halves? This team's kind of benchmark this track as being an indicator for championship contention.
You know, it's RCR has been so open to allowing us to have all the resources that they need. You know, I think right now, when it comes to their chassis, they're running something that's like their newest end all. They've had it the last couple of weeks. You know, we're kind of one step behind that, although this chassis that we have was the one I ran at the All-Star race that was really good and then got wrecked. So we just got that thing reclipped and all done up. So the guys at the shop have done a great job to really massage on this race car and try to make it as best as possible. So, you know, RC has been so good to say, you know, we'll do whatever it takes when you're in the chase to go out there and try to help you do the best that's possible. And, you know, and I've said it since day one, my goal has been to not just keep taking. You know, we want to be able to give something back to them. We want to have them look at our notes and get better from it. Hopefully we're doing that a little bit. You know, this weekend, yeah, we'd love to go out there and win the race. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. But, you know, realistically, I feel like just this first practice session from the last time we were here, we're way better than we were. Are we at, you know, we'll find out in qualifying and then tomorrow in practice and obviously on Sunday in the race, we truly are. But it's not about the ultimate goal of winning the race, and that's what we love to do, but it's just trying to get better. And that's the next 4 weeks, and then that's the next 10 weeks after that. You know, I've said since day one, if we can get to Homestead and run the last lap and say we're far better than when we started the year, whether that's a championship, 16th, 10th in points, whatever it is, that's a successful year. So that's we're not changing anything. We're just trying to get better. The only thing I would say is we hadn't planned on using our last test. We'd used 3 of them, and now maybe with the win and the more money, everything that comes with that being in the chase, we might use that 4th test before the chase starts, probably at 1.5 miles somewhere. So that's something we got to have a meeting about this week. Well, we don't want to go to Chicago and suck, so we want to use it before the chase starts. So probably Chicago. Yeah, I mean, we'd figured out, but that was just something we'd planned on not even using it just to save money. But now we might have the opportunity to go test. But that's a meeting we got to have this week. You know, last week was all about enjoying it and just taking everything and just really trying to take, whether it was an interview or just celebrating back at the shop with the guys, just take it all in and truly enjoy it. Now, this weekend we're back to business, and Monday we'll have those meetings.
Okay, we'll take our next question. Chris, go ahead.
ChrisKnightInsurance.com. AJ, you said earlier this week you were afraid to sleep because it was like a dream, and you knew how Jimmy Johnson feels now winning so much.
I figured out why he's so happy now. That victory lane, that's a good time. Yeah.
What's been the best thing? Obviously, winning the race was huge, but what was the best thing once you walked out of Watkins Glen on Sunday? What was the best thing about the whole week leading up into Michigan?
I think it just goes back to being at the shop with the guys. You know, just enjoying it. You know, having my parents there was so special to be able to share that with them in victory lane. And you know, I've put so much pressure on myself, whether it's this year or the last few years, to go out there and try to be at my best. And I felt like at times if I didn't win, it was a negative on me because, you know, that's what my life's been all about was winning and doing that. So to be able to this year kind of look at it differently, have a different perspective, but to be able to say as a whole, as a race team, that we're winners in the Sprint Cup Series, which is hard to do, that's probably been the most enjoyment thing. And waking up each day knowing that I don't have to have you guys ask me when I'm going to win again. When's are you going to be the next first-time winner? Maybe you're going to be the next first time. Yeah, I don't have to do that anymore, so I'm good with that now.
Okay, go ahead, Claire.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Your comments earlier, I think, were good for anybody about happiness and whatnot, and that one day you won't be in a race car. What did you replace it with, and how much sweeter is the victory? How much less painful is, losing or crashing or whatever happens negative? And what did you replace that with for the happiness side?
Well, I mean, when it comes to the racing side of it, we have a bad day. I'm still mad about it and frustrated, and there's been many a times this year, leaving the racetrack just upset about it and it carrying over for the next day or so. But I used to let it just take over my life. So it wasn't, okay, I'm mad about it at night and in the morning. And it'd carry over to the next week. And then the way this sport is, you just let it keep carrying over. The next week's bad, and the week after is bad, and the week after is bad. And it can steamroll to where you're just miserable. So I used to do that a lot. So I think for me, it's more about, I'm still as passionate ever about racing and wanting to win, and probably more than ever with this race team, because I feel like it's my own race team, and I want to strap it to my back and take it to new levels that we haven't been at, which that's what we're doing. We'll be in the chase. But at the same point, getting over it and just, enjoying what's around you and surrounding yourself with friends and family that make you happy, that truly love you and just whether you're the person or not, whether you're a race car driver or not, they don't care, and things like that. So just the daily life of just trying to make things a lot more simple in life, a lot less stressful, and just trying to enjoy when you're out with friends and not, whether you finish 43rd or you won, it doesn't matter when you're just having family and friends hanging out. So that's basically what I've tried to do.
Okay, we'll take our final question in the middle from Bob.
Bob Hocker, Sporting News. With all your different sponsors, how long did the hat dance take? Did it seem like it took forever? And could you even remember to mention every one of them in every interview?
Well, I watched my ESPN interview after I didn't mention anything. I think I just kept screaming at Jerry Punch that we finally won a Sprint Cup race. So I kind of laugh about that. I think I've gotten pretty good at mentioning all of them. There's Scott Products, there's Kingsford, there's Clorox, Bush's Beans, there's Charter, House Autry, Shore Lunch, Hungry Jack, which I just learned about pancakes yesterday. I was in Ohio learning about pancakes. So, then there's the side sponsors that come with that, Viva, Hidden Valley, stuff like that. Jen, any more? I said that was the first one I said, yeah. So so I've gotten pretty good at memorizing them. But yeah, it was the hat dance took forever, and I loved it. I wanted to sleep in Victory Lane, but they told me I had to get back to the plane so everybody could fly out. But I was willing to sleep right there. I wanted to wake up with confetti stuck to my face, and they said that wasn't allowed. So,
AJ, congratulations again on your win, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.